There are only 10 episodes left of From. That changes the question we should be asking about Season 5. After 4 seasons of clues, visions, cycles, strange rules, and mysteries that seem completely unrelated, the final season has to start connecting the pieces. MGM Plus has confirmed Season 5 will be the final season, and the creators have said the story will reach its conclusion. Production has already begun, with the new season expected in 2027. And Season 4 ended by making the situation worse. The talismans are gone. Fatima has transformed in a way nobody understands. Jade and Tabitha have recovered the remains of the Enkoui children. Julie's storywalking ability is still barely understood. And standing in the middle of all of it are two supernatural figures who appear to be playing opposite sides of the same game. The boy in white and the man in yellow. So here are 10 mysteries Season 5 needs to answer. The first is the biggest one. What exactly is FROMville? For 4 seasons, we've learned pieces of the rules without getting a clear explanation of the place itself. People arrive after seeing the fallen tree. They cannot leave. The road always brings them back. Trees can transport people through space. Some trees appear to move. Time itself can behave strangely. The electricity works even though the wires lead nowhere. Buildings appear to belong to different periods of history. And now the story has introduced reincarnation and repeated cycles. Tabitha and Jade discovered that they have been connected to this place across previous lives. The children were sacrificed. Their deaths appear to be tied to the creation of the creatures and the larger curse. But what created the place? Was there an actual town before the supernatural forces took control? Was the location constructed by those trapped there? Or does FROMville itself change according to whatever force controls it? Season 5 doesn't necessarily need to explain every strange object in town. But we need to understand what kind of place the characters are actually trapped inside, because that answer should explain several other mysteries at once. Second, who is the man in yellow? Season 4 finally pushed this character into the center of the story. He has been influencing people, manipulating events, and now, through Sophia, removed the town's talismans. In the finale, he also appears directly opposite the boy in white, confirming that these two forces are connected to the larger conflict. But we still don't know what he actually is. Is he the original entity responsible for the town? Did he exist before the cycles began? Did he create the monsters? Or does he control something that existed long before him? There is another detail that matters. The man in yellow doesn't seem interested in simply killing everyone as quickly as possible. He manipulates people into making choices. He gives them information. He lets them believe they are getting closer to escape. That suggests the town has rules even he has to follow. Season 5 needs to explain those rules. Third, what is the boy in white? For years, the boy in white has appeared to different characters at critical moments. He helped Victor survive. He guided people toward information. He pushed characters toward certain decisions. But the finale complicates his role. He knows the man in yellow. He understands the cycle. He knows the importance of the bones. And yet, if he has been fighting against the forces controlling FROMville for all these years, why has he been so limited? The final conversation between him and the man in yellow suggests that their conflict has happened before. The boy in white even believes this cycle could end differently because Jade and Tabitha now possess the children's remains. That means the boy in white may know much more than Victor ever realized. Season 5 has to tell us what he is and what he actually wants. Fourth, what does Anghkooey mean? This word has followed the show for a long time. The children repeatedly said it to Tabitha until she finally understood that they were asking her to remember them. Now their bones have been recovered. That changes the mystery. If the children were sacrificed as part of the original event that created the cycle, their remains may contain the missing piece of the ritual. Jade and Tabitha's connection to them also suggests that memory, reincarnation, and the children's deaths are tied together. But why those children? Why were they sacrificed? Who made that decision? And what exactly happened after they died? Season 5 has a chance to finally show us the original event rather than giving us another fragment of it. Fifth, where did the talismans come from? This one has become even more important because Season 4 ended with the town losing them. Boyd discovered the talismans in the forest, but their origin has never been properly explained. We know they protect enclosed spaces from the creatures under specific conditions. We still don't know who created them or why the creatures obey their rules. That distinction matters. The talismans weren't simply weapons. They followed a set of rules. If the supernatural forces created the town, why would they also create something that allowed humans to survive inside it? Maybe the talismans were created by previous inhabitants. Maybe they are connected to the children's ritual. Or maybe the symbols are part of a much older system that even the man in yellow cannot completely control. Now that Sophia has thrown the talismans into a faraway tree, their origin could become one of the keys to survival. And that leads directly to number 6. What are the actual rules of the creatures? We finally learned where the creatures may have come from. The sacrifice and the promise of immortality appear to be connected to their existence. But huge questions remain. Why do they hunt at night? Why do they speak calmly to their victims? Why do they know everyone's names? Why do they sometimes act as though they already understand what a person will do? And what happens when those rules change? The season 4 finale gave us one of the biggest clues yet. When the talisman protection failed at the clinic, Smiley entered and attacked Marielle. Later, Fatima was able to produce the same kind of terrifying sound as the creatures, suggesting her transformation may be much more complicated than simply becoming another monster. If the creatures are connected to the original sacrifice, then their behavior should tell us something about the deal that created them. Season 5 needs to make that connection clear. 7th, what is happening to Fatima? Fatima's storyline may be one of the most dangerous mysteries going into the final season. Her pregnancy was already strange, the baby was impossible, the birth produced a creature, and during the finale, Fatima transformed enough to imitate the creatures and frighten them away. That raises a completely different possibility. Fatima may occupy a space between the humans and the monsters. If so, why? Was she selected because of the supernatural forces controlling the town? Did the blood she received change her? Was the creature inside her part of a new stage of the cycle? The answer could also explain why the monsters reacted to her differently. Season 5 has to decide what Fatima's transformation means. Her story has been building for too long to leave her as another unexplained supernatural event. 8th, what exactly can Julie's storywalking do? This may be the most important ability in the entire series. Julie discovered that she could enter moments from the past. More importantly, she began to understand that some events had already happened and that changing them might not be as simple as going back and making a different choice. That creates a massive possibility for the final season. If Julie can access previous points in the cycle, she could potentially witness the original sacrifice. She might see Tabitha and Jade's earlier lives. She might discover what happened to the children, and she could finally learn what the man in yellow and boy in white were doing before the current group arrived. But there is a bigger question. Can Julie change the past, or can she only observe it? If she can change it, Season 5 could reveal that some of the events we've already watched were caused by attempts to change history. That would completely alter how we understand the earlier seasons. 9th, why does the cycle keep repeating? This is where almost everything connects. The children were sacrificed. The monsters became immortal. Jade and Tabitha keep returning. The town receives new groups of people. The boy in white and man in yellow appear to have been involved across multiple cycles. And the same kinds of events keep happening again. So what actually resets the cycle? Is it the death of the reincarnated characters? Is it the failure to rescue the children? Is the town itself resetting after some kind of supernatural game reaches a certain point? Or does the cycle continue because the survivors keep making the same mistake? The Season 4 finale gave us the strongest indication yet that the current group may have a chance to break it. The boy in white specifically points to Jade and Tabitha having the bones as something that could make this cycle different. That means the bones aren't just another clue. They may be the key to ending everything. And finally, the 10th mystery. What is the Lake of Tears? This one has been hanging around long enough that Season 5 really needs to pay it off. The phrase has been connected to the strange mythology surrounding the town, while other supernatural locations have appeared and disappeared without receiving complete explanations. We've already seen how From can introduce an image or phrase early and reveal its importance much later. The Lake of Tears could be another example. If it connects to the children's sacrifice, the cycle, or whatever exists beyond FROMville, it could become part of the final route to escape. But there is a larger reason I want this answered. The show has spent 4 seasons teaching us that locations matter. The lighthouse matters. The caves matter. The faraway trees matter. The bottle tree mattered. The place where the children died matters. So, if the Lake of Tears is another part of that mythology, Season 5 needs to tell us why. And that brings us back to the real problem facing the final season. From has accumulated a huge number of mysteries. Fans have even compiled lists that include the strange electricity, the missing motel, the kimono woman, Martin, the spiders, the dates, the jukebox, the dogs, the faraway trees, and the origin of the town itself. Season 5 cannot realistically give every strange detail its own 10-minute explanation. It doesn't need to. What it needs is one coherent answer that connects the major mysteries. If we learn what the town is, who created the cycle, why the children were sacrificed, what the man in yellow wants, why the boy in white opposes him, where the talismans came from, and how Jade, Tabitha, and Julie fit into the cycle, then many of the smaller mysteries can finally make sense. That is the ending From has been building toward. Season 4 gave us the bones. It took away the talismans. It exposed the man in yellow, and it put the survivors in the most dangerous position they've ever been in. Season 5 has one job: show us what all of this was building toward. Because after 4 seasons of asking what is happening in this town, the final question should be much simpler. Can they finally end it?